Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lisa. This little man is Zipper and we are growing on Vancouver Island. Today is July the 2nd and I'm going to take you on a little tour of our container gardens. Here we are in our back patio area and these pots all have cucumber plants in them. They have grown quite a bit since the last update video. So these are the cucumber plants. I have probably still way too many in each of these pots. I've got 3 or 4 different varieties here. And when I directly seeded these seeds into all these pots, I had pretty much 100% germination. So I had so many plants in these pots. I've already given at least 10 of them to my parents. I've planted 4 or 5 in my regular vegetable garden and 1 in my front container garden. And I'm probably still going to be planting several more in other places because I don't really want to have 4 or 5 plants per container, maybe 2 at the most or 1. So I am super impressed with my cucumber collection. And here we have my collection of bell peppers growing in grow bags. If you watched my previous container garden video, you might remember that they weren't in this location before. They were in the gravel area of our patio. But we had several days over 30 degrees Celsius and it was a little too warm for these guys. So I moved them under the shade of my cherry tree. And into the grass seems to be a good temperature. So on this little plant here, we've got 1 little bell pepper developing and quite a few flowers. Over here, I think we also have 1 or 2 little bell peppers developing and several flowers. Over here, just some flowers. And another bell pepper on this guy. And in that corner, no peppers yet, but some flowers. So we have 6 different bell pepper plants. I think 2 varieties. These are not spicy peppers, just a sweet bell pepper variety that we've got going here. And they're doing pretty well, I must say, in these grow bags from Amazon. On our patio table, I still have this little fairy garden, herb garden I created quite a few months ago now, and it's just starting to grow now that we're in July because it's been so cold. We have a little rosemary plant in here, little thyme, a nasturtium that's self-seeded in my soil and it's got a little bloom on it almost open, and some sage at the back. So as these grow, I'll give you another update on what the fairy garden looks like. And here's another succulent fairy garden I made in a recent video, just with some succulents from my backyard. And this plant that's dying was actually a house plant that wasn't doing well, but clearly it is probably not going to make it, and that's okay. I didn't expect it to do very well. And this fairy garden has a couple of my cactuses that were growing in the house. I brought them outside. I'm not sure how the cactuses are feeling about that this year because last year they loved being outside, but we did have some cold days since they've been outside. And they have a little bit of almost browning in this section here. I don't know if you can see that, or maybe it's dark green. It's hard to tell, but I'm not sure if they're happy about being out or not. I guess time will tell. And here is my lemon tree. If you saw my previous video, these guys have made an amazing comeback. There was literally no leaves left on them. I won't get into all the details of what happened to them, but I did talk about it in previous videos. I'll link them in the description. But they are doing amazing now. They're full of new growth. And this one has an alyssum plant in the middle of it. Don't ask me how that happened. I don't even think I used soil from my vegetable garden here, so probably just got seeded from a bird or some other source. I have no idea. Coming this way, we have a herb planter, which has some lovely marigolds in it. We've got this basil was from my house. I have a Basil Forest going on inside the house. And this is I think this is a Thai basil or some exotic variety. Definitely delicious and amazing. And at the back, we have a lovely parsley plant. In this container here, this is my lime tree that has also made a pretty amazing comeback. It again had no leaves earlier in the season and did not look very good, but it is just making a huge rebound now. Here is a lettuce planter I put in. I definitely didn't seed these guys to the proper distance, but that was kind of on purpose. And now my lettuce is just going nuts, both in my container and in my vegetable garden. So I'm gonna have to be eating lettuce for every meal pretty soon. But it is so lush and healthy and looks amazing. I just need to start harvesting more of it. I have had some of it before the hot weather really kicks in. And in this large planter, we have a flower that I didn't plant from seed. Got it at a nursery. It didn't have a tag. Not sure what it is, but it's very pretty. And in here is a watermelon plant that I grew from milk jugs. There is also another tiny watermelon plant coming up that I seeded in the pod, but I think it's so far behind, there's no chance it's going to do anything. This one may even not. Our weather has been so cold this year. And here we are in my kitchen. I didn't realize the lighting was so poor in here. I just wanted to show you my indoor basil plants. I have a bit of a basil forest going on. These are my lettuce leaf basil plants. I don't know if you can tell, but their leaves are so big. It's my hand and one leaf. Like, they're just huge. These guys, I've always had the best luck growing inside versus outside. Doesn't matter how warm it is, they just do better in my window. And here we are in part 2 of my basil forest that I've got going on. I've got a lot of basil plants. Basil is definitely my favorite herb. And I'm thinking about putting these into a bigger container, maybe even condensing them, putting a few plants in the same container. My goal is to keep these guys alive for the whole year. Often my basil starts to not look good after a while, but oh my gosh, it smells so good. I just picked a leaf. But I'd really like to grow these throughout the winter as well and keep them alive. So that's my goal this year, is to keep this indoor basil food forest going all year long. And here we are on our front patio deck. And this is the corn that I planted in these pots and grow bags quite a while ago in the season. It's doing really well, actually. The only issue I've been having with all of these corn, and I have beans as well, but they're not really having issues, is my watering situation. Because I work 12-hour shifts generally, I am often not home to water these when it's super hot out. And sometimes I come home to droopy plants. And then I'm in a mad rush to get all my containers watered because I don't want them to die. You can see evidence of stress on this corn plant here. So I'm not sure on what I should do about watering. If anyone has a tried and true method for container watering that is really effective, let me know in the comments below, because I need to figure something out. The reason that I've been turned off of containers in the past is because I don't really know how to water them properly when I'm not here. I don't have any drip lines in containers or anything like that. It has to be pretty primitive watering for me. But if you have a good suggestion, please let me know, because I would love to do more container gardening, but I don't want my plants to die when I'm not around to water them. And here are some of the bush beans I planted in these little grow bags. They're doing very well. Not bothered by the heat as much. Here's a little cucumber plant I transplanted from my good containers. I thought it kicked the bucket, but it actually might be trying to come back. Should probably give it more water. I had unknown mystery seeds in here, but they didn't grow. So I put a cucumber plant in that probably is going to die. And here is my helper, just doing his neighborhood watch duties. And here are my railing strawberry plants. I have several of these. And I do have some strawberries that have formed. I have eaten 2 strawberries so far from these little planters. Here is another one. And this strawberry planter is really overgrown. This is the only one I ended up putting 2 plants in one. Probably wasn't a good idea. As well as nasturtium seeds, which I put in all of them, but only one of them grew. But I'm so excited. These flowers are so pretty. They ended up being orange. It was a red and orange mix. And I'm hoping that they're going to start trailing down the railing pretty soon, or the panel. I think it'll look so gorgeous. My strawberries, on the other hand, doesn't matter how much I water them, and I have been trying really hard to keep them moist. They keep drooping, and I don't know if these are going to do anything, but the nasturtiums seem very happy in these little railing planters. And here is my last strawberry plant. It is trying to send out a runner into Neverland. There's nothing down there, so I'll probably have to pluck that off at some point. So that's going to be all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's tour, and have a lovely day. We will see you in the next video. Take care.